Good morning, Ines.
Good morning, Thor. Good morning and happy second week of January. It is second.
Happy.
It is the second week of
It is
January.
it is the second week of January, isn't it? Yeah, it is the second
Yeah,
week.
it is. Yeah. I'm just looking at the calendar. Yeah.
Or is it the third? I think it might be the third, isn't it?
Oh, well, if we count the 31st was on a Monday. No, the 1st of January was a Saturday. And now today is the 14th. That's two.
That is
7
two. No,
days
you're
per
right.
week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
that's
you
two.
are right.
just about. Yeah. Yeah. High mass at this hour of the morning. Gosh, you're looking great. You look really good.
Thank you. You too. It's quite nice. I'm seeing sun sort of rising just in the
Oh,
corner there, which is really lovely.
fantastic. And your room is warm, is it?
And my room is warm. Yes.
Wonderful. Really, really
Yes.
wonderful. You have a super room. It's very, very nice.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean,
Very.
I used to live in places where it was much colder. So this feels like a gift, basically, that
Yeah.
it's so warm. Yeah.
Oh, I agree with that.
Is it
Yeah.
warm at your place?
Yeah, it's warm. This is a smaller room, so I can make it warmer.
Mm.
But outside on the roofs, it's frosty. It's white. They're
Yeah,
all
no, it
white.
is. I can see it.
Yeah,
It's going to be
it's
cold when
nice.
I go out later. Yeah, it's
Wow.
nice to look at from the inside.
Yeah, it is absolutely. Are you planning to run or to do anything? You're going to the gym?
I am going to the gym. Yes. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. I'm going to go out too. That brilliant. Anyway, what I was thinking of, and I'm obviously very much interested in your feedback, but the path of life.
Mm-hmm.
It is a very interesting topic because often, just on a daily mundane note, without going deep into philosophy, oh gosh, why me? Why somebody else? That type of situation, or you try again and again, and nothing seems to work out, or relationships or jobs, all of those sort of things. But it's interesting, actually, how we each see the path of life. Meaning, so if somebody is, say, working with saints, or those working with the poor all the time, then that individual actually would find pleasure in what they do. But some, on the other hand, it would not be their choice to work with work with saints, saintly people, or with the poor. So everyone is very different, and everyone follows a different path. It's an individual choice, so we think. Everyone has a different religion, even if we're all Church of England. There are different viewpoints. It doesn't matter which religion. They're always offshoots. Buddhism, the many different offshoots of exactly the same religion, and everyone has a different thought, because everyone is actually absolutely individually, basically, of course. So no one's path is more spiritual, better, or more worthy, as no two spirits can be the same and need the same, let's say, learning, if you like, or need to learn the same at any given time. That's why when the Godhead, or whatever you feel, designed and brought all of this forward, can you imagine the amount of planning? And we're only talking about the earth. The marvelous thing is that all the times that have been since the earth began as we know it, and all the times that are to come, no two individuals have been the same. And there is actually a reason for that, because basically there's a great need for the learning process of the spirit, each of our spirits, that is attached to know exactly what it needs to achieve. Hence, there will always be variances. Now, when I talk about no two people be the same, I think it has scientifically been proven, Thor, that no two fingerprints are ever the same. Even with identical twins. And then you can go into the retina, you can go in hair follicles, all forms of things. So there has to be a variance. Otherwise, there's no point in choosing which body they have and the path to follow. That's why there's a huge difference into what are we going to spend our life with. It is the learning process at any given time. So during that period of time that we have been given, as individual, the vehicle, that we should try to have the best life that we can possibly make. Even if somebody is very, very poor, we still have certain things that would give us pleasure. And if we're very rich, maybe we have surpassed all the things that would give us pleasure. And so perhaps, excuse me, we might find pleasure, for instance, in giving. The quality of life does not depend on money, position, or education. What it does depend on is how we are able to enjoy the path that has been selected for us. Now, when spirits have chosen the path and the personality, of course, money makes life easier, makes it easier for the spirit that is attached to work with that vehicle. Of course, you're not worried about starving. You have a roof over your head. All of those things make a great deal of difference, but it is still only one tiny aspect of learning. Our spirit is the total power. And without that spirit that is around us, which is around us, of course, aura, that is the aura, there could be and would be no reason for life at all. And the reason, the aura, of course, is around everything that is living. The trees, the flowers, everything that is living. The only reason for life, and that it is made at all tolerable, is simply to keep the inner soul, the motivational soul, moving forward for the benefit of that which is made in the image of God. Image of God. That is not 2 eyes, 2 hands, 2 feet, a human being, excluding all the animal kingdoms, which many religions do. What is made in the image of God? It is the aura. It is that field. So everything that is alive has an aura, and everything that has an aura is made in the image of God. And that is the reason for everything we are. That is the reason for everything we do, and certainly everything that we hope to be. Every day of our life, every hour, every minute is something which can never be recaptured. I'm sure this has been mentioned to you before. Perhaps just sometimes we can remember that nothing can be recaptured, and therefore it is very necessary that we live every moment of our life to the best of our ability. If we are not able to live our life to the best of our ability, we are actually at this moment in time setting the foundation for our future. The future is tomorrow. The future is the next minute. So by not living it to the best of our ability, we might be passing something by, a lesson, anything like that, which will open the door to a new chapter of our life. Usually we forget, and we look forward to everything that we think comes within the future of time, and forget to enjoy what we have in the now. And that is a topic that you might find interesting or worthy to meditate on. We need to accept the 2 halves of our existence. That is, which is directing from the spiritual guidance, and that which is action. The action is the physical. Communication is the byword for psychic or spiritual development. Development is very physical because one has to devote oneself in the sense of being, doing, and wanting to participate. So when we talk of development, we're very much talking only of the physical, because it is the physical attributes that would stem from the spiritual insight of self. The mind is limitless, the spirit is limitless, and once this opportunity is realized, it is the first step to a very long and exciting path. Nothing is impossible, but we have to want it. We have to lay the foundation. Meditation is also very physical. It's a very physical thing to achieve. And the physical is very difficult to control because of all that is going on around us constantly. That God, your God within, is there. It is the controlling factor within ourselves. And through meditation, we move close to the power that is there. As we said last week, to enter into it, into that hall of silence, the silence of total surrender to that inner calmness and inner peace, to be still within, not always perhaps without, but if we can find that peace, that calmness, and the God within each of us, then all is well. Just as a passing thought, whatever any of us are achieving, working at, or endeavoring to do, no individual's achievements or endeavors in life are better or worthier than anyone else. Also, the universe, this goes to anybody, has not forgotten you. You are where you are meant to be right now. No one can take anything away from us. If you are overlooked for a promotion, there is a reason. But if it is your destiny to lead that company or to be wherever it is, it will still appear because it is your destiny. No one can take anything away from you, which means that as the dice roll this year, 2022, and the world is desperately trying to bring its economies back up to scratch, let's see what happens. You can't be left behind. The world will not take it away from you if you have confidence and the trust in yourself, and obviously in the guidance and the totalness of life, which of course is a total learning process. Okay, what do you think, Thor?
I think that's an incredibly important mindset to cultivate, because I think if we cultivate that mindset for ourselves, it doesn't mean that challenge will go away, but I think it means that we look at challenge from a different perspective. And I don't think it's easy. I don't necessarily think it's a mindset that we are inherently born with. I think it's something that we have to create, and I think you create it by listening to us.
Yes,
and
absolutely. I agree.
Also by meditating and doing the work,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
and I think that's it. I think it's about cultivating that mindset and reminding ourselves of that every single day, everything that you just mentioned.
You said something very interesting. We had a little chat, everybody, just before we start. Thor and I have a chat, and you're going to give a talk for corporate leadership, aren't you? And then it's not a disagreement we had. It's just that I work in a very different industry, which was very interesting. And of course, in the end, it's not something that the leadership is appalling for the employees. And of course, if it's appalling for employees, it passes down to residents. If you're in entertainment or anything like that, you're not this. Perhaps you're not as let's say social with if you're waitress or waiter or anything like that. It passes down. You cannot help it. You're a human being. But what keeps me going is that what I said to you, I take to heart too. I am where I'm meant to be. If it is meant to change, either I will be so fed up, I will hand in my resignation, or I will plow on because I feel it is the right place for whatever reason at this moment in time. And that's also a trust in your guidance. It's not a doormat attitude, but it's just a matter of trusting in what you're doing.
Yeah, surrendering to your guidance as opposed to just what you said, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not easy sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not easy.
We
were also talking about uni graduates. So many individuals now vying for the same job. Everything has a silver lining, says she, who doesn't have to vie for that job. But because sometimes we are turned down, we choose and have to look at other options. And that option could actually be the making of that personality, still needing the background of their degree, because it hones the intelligence. It gets it ready maybe for another, knowledge, whatever it happens to be. It's very necessary. But sometimes it can really be, thank God that happened.
Yeah. No, exactly.
I mean, the COVID has pushed us something like light years into technology. It would have been really slow. I'm not saying it's all right, but change is inevitable. And we can still communicate. If there's a hailstorm, an ice storm, anything like that, hopefully we can still communicate through our software.
Yeah, as long as the internet doesn't go down.
And maybe the world can keep going.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the most wonderful things, this was before COVID, there was a program on the rice crops. It took place in India. You have to choose some place. And this took place in India. And the weather variances that the farmers had about growing certain types of rice. Some rice needed hot, some needed wet, cold, whatever. It happens to be hot, whatever. And what they did with a weather forecast, they gave each of these farmers, they gave them an iPad. They showed them how to use it. And they had connected them to the weather forecast, obviously, of that part of the world. And so by knowing that the weather was going to be, I don't know how rice is planted, except I see it goes in down a little, or how far in advance you have to plant rice to produce a crop. But because of that, the farmers in that area were now able to see, it's going to be wet. I'm going to use this type of rice. And they were given the different types of rice and technology for their work, which means more people can eat.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I think that, and this was before COVID. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, really, totally really great.
Agree. Brilliant, Ines. Well, I think that for anybody who listens to this, I just think it's so important to say, cultivate that mindset if you can. It's not easy. It takes time. It's a lifelong project.
Yeah.
But it's probably the most important thing that you'll ever do.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you deal a lot with leaders, don't you? With corporate leaders and so on. Giving them the advice and the inner sight to be able to do their job efficiently. Because if your workforce are performing well and are happy mentally, then everything else falls into place.
Everything else falls into place.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter. My door looks as if it's crooked.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, it does look like it's crooked, isn't it? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Because even when things go belly up, which they do, you can still cope.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It works. Yeah.
Thank you for another Friday, Ines. A pleasure, like always.
As always, Thor. And, huge pleasure.
And we will see everybody back here again next week.
Yeah, brilliant. All right. Take care of yourself.